Alright, spoiler warning. This video has those. Welcome. From the director of Dead by Dawn and Monster, or The Re-Dead, comes Velocipastor. Released in 2018, the film was written, directed, and edited by Brendan Steer, a guy in his late 30s with an ungodly ability to commit to a joke.
I was texting one of my friends in 2010 or 11 about dinosaurs, and my phone happened to autocorrect Velociraptor to Velocipastor. And me being 19 or 20 years old was just sort of like, I don't know, it sounds like a movie. So
recently, the film has been garnering a cult following online and spreading throughout the internet. That said, let's take a look at the film and see why.
And to believe in God is the greatest gift any of us can have.
Yeah, that and... Our story begins when Doug Jones, a priest who looks like a child of Benedict Cumberbatch and John Mulaney, tragically loses his parents.
No. No! No!
I'm sorry, He starts to question his faith.
I'm starting to question my faith.
And his friend and mentor, Father Stewart, tells him he should go far away where God will not follow in order to find him. Anyways, so Doug goes to China naturally, which is all trees.
China.
Doug goes to do whatever it is that he's trying to do here.
China is east.
But he's distracted by a woman falling down the hill. Thankfully, he's very perceptive.
Oh my god! Were you hurt?
She tells him he's the dragon warrior and gives him a thing, with which he promptly accidentally cuts himself. Clumsy Doug. There's a whole "it was all a dream" scene with Father Stewart where he wakes up, but then they both start referencing the dream, and it turns out he actually did go to China. Anyways, he gets back somehow, I guess, and feels...
hungry. Good.
Doug stumbles around town when we suddenly meet Carol, a sex worker who's apparently from the 50s.
I'm lit up right and hot to trap where you want me tonight, Daddy-o.
She works for Frankie Mermaid, who's just a really bad dude.
Stole candy from this baby. Then I threw the baby in the river, so it couldn't stitch, obviously.
That night, she plans to work in the park. A few hours later, and wouldn't you know it, Doug still hasn't figured out how to walk, but he decided to find somewhere with more scenery this time. As it turns out, he's also in the park and saves Carol from a mugger by turning into a dinosaur for the first time. If that's not the face to strike the fear of the Lord into someone. Anyways, apparently he wakes up at Carol's house and doesn't know what happened the night before, so he just assumes they did the opposite of celibacy.
Was it bad?
It was weird.
So Carol told him he turned into a dinosaur, and understandably, he doesn't believe her, so they decide to visit China again. Oh, no, wait, this time in its American forest. Carol shows him the body and casually mentions her profession, which Doug seems to take pretty well.
Touch not thy sinning hands,
Stop
Jezebel!
it! You saved me!
Carol thinks Doug should use his powers for good. Doug forgets how to walk again and runs back to the church to do a confession. During confession, Carol's boss, Frankie Mermaid, comes in, and we find out he killed Doug's parents. Doug does the logical thing in this situation, and... so he goes to see Carol and they decide to use his dinosaur powers for good.
I don't know much about God.
I don't know much about dinosaurs.
Doug starts working out to be a better dinosaur while preaching like a boss, and Carol soon converts him to the stylistic ways of the 50s. Back at some place, we meet Headmaster Wei Chan, overseeing the academy of 2 students. It turns out the school is also involved in secret drug trade as well.
Well, sir, we'll have another shipment of coke in tomorrow, prepared exactly as you ordered.
They're annoyed that not as many people have been buying their drugs, and they decide to go after the dragon warrior, aka Doug. Back at the church, Father Stewart summons the look of judgment given to those who pour milk before cereal when he sees the new couple out in the world together. Doug tells him about his dinosaur powers, and Father Stewart locks him in the church to wait to be exorcised. And we're not talking fitness. Turns out the exorcism people were busy, so they call in David Blaine. During the interaction, we learn more about Father Stewart's past. He fought in
the war
back in the day with his friend Ali, who really wanted him to start a family with his girlfriend or fiancée, Adeline.
You could have 5 kids.
I want you to name one of them after me. Ali, your wartime buddy. The one who made it through the whole war without taking a single hit.
After his friend's unfortunate death, Stewart writes a note to Ali's parents, and wouldn't you know it, but here comes Adeline running through the woods to start a family. Back at the church, Dr. Strange starts doing a seance, and Doug's inner dino doesn't seem to like that very much. So he attacks Father Stewart and runs away as if he's forgotten cookies in the oven. Doug has forgotten how to walk again, and 3 ninjas attempt to coordinate an attack on him.
The other side.
I'm gonna use my famous water.
요진이 항상 나한테 말해주었지. 이렇게 될 것이라고.
He gets stabbed and runs back to Carol's bedroom house, where they proceed to have Christmas-themed spicy times as you do. They wake up to a ninja attack, but it turns out that Academy was not so skilled at training ninjas, and they failed. Father Stewart wakes up at... I'm sorry, I can't handle the eye patch over the glasses. Okay, so Father Stewart wakes up at the bad guy's lair and finds out they're actually evil Christians that use the powers of drugs to grow their enrollment rates.
What does drug smuggling have to do with Christianity? Everything.
Oh, okay, well, Father Stewart's dead now. Doug and Carol show up at the hideout because, wait, how'd they know?
Good thing that ninja told us where the hideout was before he died.
Oh, okay. They get ready to fight Tiny Blonde Boy and the ninjas when Doug discovers he is, in fact, his brother. And his parents were just really weird about excluding him from things, apparently.
Sam.
Blondie, or I guess Sam is his name, throws the sword into the ground because the power of plot convenience compelled him, and Carol proceeds to punch the crap out of some ninjas while Doug dilly-dallies. Doug then proceeds to turn full Jedi and summon the sword into his hand and stab Sam with it. Meanwhile, Carol kicks over some ninjas and gets sliced, but at least they feel bad. This sends Doug into a frenzy, where we finally get to see the dinosaur in its full body form, and it is... ridiculous. Anyways, he chomps some ninjas for a bit and is thriving until he takes an arrow to the knee. The headmaster said he shot him with anti-venom, but your boy apparently still has his claws and uses them to knock off that guy's head. I'm sorry, the effects in this movie are so realistic, it's staggering. We cut to a hospital waiting room where Carol is being treated. Thankfully, she's fine.
Are you okay?
I'm fine.
You're fine.
I'm fine.
In the end, Doug leaves the church, drops his voice a couple octaves, and starts smoking, determined to stop whatever those ninjas were trying to do. So here's the thing. I've watched this movie a few times now in the making of this video, and the line between good and bad is faded. All that is left is simply Velocipastor. I have to say, if you're looking for a good movie to turn on with some friends for some mindless entertainment, by all means, cue this movie up. It's always fun finding out what other people pick up from a given scene, and the moderately paced interactions lend themselves well to on-the-spot commentary. I think one of my favorite facets of the movie was the camera work and the reactions by Greg Cohen. They really nailed the dramatic zoom-ins and shaking cam, and overall added to the comedic value for me. The movie was self-aware, which made the low budget and unconventional plot really work. It's garnered tons of attention online, and the cast and crew of the film actually started a TikTok account. Since the film's release, Brendan Steer is in the process of writing a film titled They Hunger. Greg Cohen, the actor of Velocipastor, has worked on 12 more projects since, and Alyssa Kempinski, the actress of Carol, went on to act in 5 more projects, with a rumored appearance in Steer's new screenplay. Overall, this is a movie you can tell the cast and crew had fun making. Though it can be ridiculous at times, the knowledge that it was intentional makes it feel more like you're being let in on an inside joke than anything. Not to mention, plenty of quotable moments throughout the film. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you want to see Velocipastor, it's pretty much everywhere for pretty much nothing. Specifically, I found this on Prime, but that's, you know, a thing, I guess. Alright, well, I think that's all I have to say, so see ya!